As you already can see in the program of this today's lecture, our lecture title, our subject is our ballroom. As many of you know, Alessia and myself, we danced together from a long time, since 1989. And this year we celebrate, we are in 2009, we celebrate our 20 years of dancing career. So, thank you. Thank you. But I would like that you help me do a big applause to a very special person that helped me a lot to growing up my quality of dancing. Ladies and gentlemen, this applause is for the world champion, Alessia Betti. Thank you very much. So, our ballroom for us means what we did during our dancing career to obtain our success, of course to creating our style, but what we did during our dancing career to improve our dancing. And as you understand, it's such a little bit difficult it's complicated to explain 20 years of practice, 20 years of lesson, 20 years of information, sensation. And of course, it's very difficult to do it in just half an hour lecture. But we try to do our best to give you some idea to improve your ballroom. So during our long career, we feel that, and we understand that all small details in dancing are very important to growing up our quality, to growing up our level in dancing. And in this morning lecture, I would like to go into talk about, as in all our career, to one subject that can improve also some other subject. So for example, if I think in dancing about using the foot, of course I not just improve my foot action, my footwork. I improve also my lightness in dancing. I improve my quality of movement. I improve my swing. So I just think into one point and I improve many points. So that is in this morning lecture. I would like to go into talk about a subject. It's a little bit difficult subject, but of course I think that has improved us to improve the quality of movement, the interpretation, the musicality, even the action. And it's very difficult, this subject, because if you, everything dancing, if you don't use in the correct quantity, maybe it can be a disaster for your dancing, can destroy your dancing. That is why you need to have a collaboration, first of all with your partner, and then with your teacher, to find the correct quantity for your physical structure of the couple. So, the subject is today. Today we are going to focusing the use of the head. So, the use of the head, of course, first of all, we have to think to using what we have inside of the head for dancing. It's very important to use the brain. It's very important to think what we have to do it and to understand why we have to do it. Because as today, we can see many couples that try to copy just the end of the product, just to copy the finality, without feel where have to start the movement. That is why we have to use the first thing about our head, the brain. So, second, we have to know that the head is situated on the top of our spine. So it's not directly situated to our neck. Of course, it's collegated to our neck, but the neck is the muscle. Our head bone is collegated to the top of our spine. And as in dancing, it's very important to move the base of our spine, that actually is the hip, to creating, of course, swing, sway, movement. It's very important also to obtain the same movement even with the head weight. So, as you know, the head is one of the heaviest parts of our body. It's approximately from 6 to 10 kilo, depend how it's empty, or how is it full of the brain. So, it's because it's so heavy, maybe we cannot feel the heavy of the head because it's support of our spine or our skeleton and our bone. But of course, if you take something that have the same kilo of the head and you try to hold up in a long term, you can feel that it's become very difficult to hold this up in a long term. And that is, in dancing, is the same. How we can achieve, how we can obtain a correct position with the head. Of course, not directly thinking about the head, that we can see today is very popular to see that you have to stand up to the head, up to balloon, okay? So, like this, maybe I stand up to head, but I become fixed with the whole muscle. That is why we have to support with using not just the muscle, but using the physical structure and the bone. And of course, the head weight of the lady is support and continues the line of the knee and of the hip of the man. And as the man is continue the line of this area of the hip of the lady. In this position, I can be natural with my head placing and of course looking also more natural in the movement. So if Alessia, for example, drop her hip, for instance, I immediately going forward with the head because her part support my center and of course support my bone, as my part support her center and her head. Thank you very much. I pay you later. So, but as I said before, if you try to hold up this kilo, this about 6 or 10 kilo, you feel that become hard work for the muscle to stay in a long term. That is why we have to let the muscle breathe. And now if I keep stiff with my neck muscle or with my spine muscle, I become in a fixed position with the head. And if I don't use in dancing my head weight, maybe the result is this. If I have some waltz and I show you a bad movement and a bad action with no use my head weight. in my neck muscle and shoulder muscle, of course. And so I try to do this one even in tango, if I have some music of tango. Become hard work, huh? So it's the first time I have to clap to Alessia because it's the first time that I use without using or in one block with my head and of course with my center and with my shoulder. Without don't feel that I separately the rotation of my shoulder in relation to my neck and to my head. I tried this one last time in Venice Waltz and then we continue. But I keep his smile, eh? So it's a sensation of in the past, when we were junior. Not so long time, Not so long time. So, as you can see, I give you a bad example of using my head weight. But of course, what I explained to you before is very difficult to find the quantity of the using of the head weight. That is, if you use the head weight, of course you can improve many things in ballroom, many things in dancing. As, for example, the timing. As you see, in Venice Waltz, I keep it very difficult to get in time without using my head weight, because I don't feel that the sensation that I make the music fuller. I feel a little bit empty in the movement. So, and of course, I can improve the leading. As Alessia, for her now, was very difficult to follow me, because she feel me one block of body. And of course, I cannot give her the opportunity to move herself and to let her free. And of course, the interpretation, the musicality, the balance, even the balance become wrong. So when I mean the balance in dancing, I don't think about a static balance. So now I try to show you some line figure without music. Thank you. Line figure. And if, for example, I dance over corté and some foot range, if I don't use, my head weight, I feel that my balance is become static. So I have to think just about my foot. And of course, for hold and for stay in balance, I have to grip all of my muscle. I cannot dance free in the body. If I use my head weight in the same figure, of course, the interpretation has become more beauty, because we can see that we finalize the movement that we're creating with the foot, with the knee, with the hip, and of course with our body. But in the same moment, we work from down to up. We always work from up to down, and we connect these two energy in the center. That is why we become very stable in dancing. So the using of the head weight is very important to know where we have to use the head weight. For example, as men, we have to use always the head weight for give the direction to the lady. for let understand. So it's very important for the leading, because I let understand the next direction. For example, if I dance natural turn, in the preparation step, she already feel where I have to going. So now, by using my headway, I give also the center to the lady, and she feel the next direction. So in the end of natural turn, I don't keep it fixed and then I try, or maybe to use the leg, that is actually important, to use the feet. But before, I try to give her the next direction. Or maybe in the spin turn, turning lock. Or maybe in the promenade, I try to invite her with my headway to the next direction. And the beauty of this type of movement is that the men always begin the movement, start the movement, for let the lady inform where is the next direction, the quantity of the progression of the next movement, the quantity even of the rotation of the next movement. And of course, the lady has to finish her shape by using the headway, by give to the man a very good counterbalance with the headway for stay in balance. That actually, I spoke about balance before. And you can see that in dancing, we understand that in dancing, we never dance with a static balance, because, of course, we have to move during our dance. Even when we use the line figure, the movement never stops, because the music never stops. And of course, we have to keep it, instead of static balance, in a dynamic balance. Okay? So now, Alessia and myself, we are going to show you, and we try to do, and a good example that we did before in waltz, tango, and Venus waltz, with the correct use of the head weight, with music. We think that, of course, in waltz we use more in a soft way, but feel the balance, but feel the connection to our center, and of course even the timing. No together on the same time we use the headway, but we feel a very opposite in the top of area. Opposite for looking together. That is very difficult point. Opposite movement for looking in together when we dance. So we tried the same example in tango, and in tango give also the head movement and the head weight, give also the characteristic of the dance. So as you see before, you can see very low-level tango, maybe good in the movement, in the action, but is not good in the interpretation and in the sensation that give us this music. Okay, I do the same thing. I show also to the other side. And we try also in Venice waltz. Even my hair moves. So, it's a little bit different than before. We can see and we can feel a little bit more wind on the face, even because our head weight gives us the opportunity to achieve more swing, more action, more progression. And of course, our balance is become not static balance, but dynamic balance. And even our energy, the energy that you can see, is going up. So, if I a little bit talking about Venice waltz, that is very important because it's fast dance and the swing action is never stop and the movement is always a repeat. That is very good dance for practice, the swing, the sway, the shape and head movement, of course. So, if you could see that in the end of the first swing, Alessia complete with the head weight by giving me more progression in the direction that I have to move. Okay? When I close my feet, I don't keep still my head and I start to turn to the other side, as I showed you before. But I invite Alessia to the next movement. I assist with my head weight and top line. And of course, as you see in the flecker action, that Alessia before was very stiff with the head. And when she came stiff, I feel very heavy in my right side, because I feel that the energy going on if we try to stay in one block with the body, if we try to don't feel in an opposite line with the top of our body, with our head. And like I use her head weight, she can help a lot my movement. And of course, myself too. I don't keep in fix with my shoulder and with my spine, even because when I stop, I turn everywhere. I try to take the position of the head in relation of the movement that I have to go in. So it's always a little bit change in the neck area. That is why this muscle must be free. Okay, unfortunately, we have just half an hour, but I hope that you can improve your dancing by this thing. And for Alessia and myself, this morning we would like to say thank you very much to all of you for the attention, and of course once again to the World Dance Council and the British Dance Council for giving us this opportunity. Thank you very much.